Lesson 67 is about naming and classifying different geometric solids. We've worked with two-dimensional geometric shapes so far, like circles and triangles and quadrilaterals and polygons. Geometric solids are three-dimensional shapes. It's important to understand and know about geometric solids. Those are just used so much in everyday life. Boxes, cans, balls, those are all geometric shapes. And so in this lesson we're just going to get familiar with some geometric solids. Later on you'll figure out how to find the volume of some of these geometric solids using some mathematical formulas. Another name for a ball, I'll just try to draw it here. Any dashed lines that I draw are basically hidden lines. Another name for a ball, a mathematical term, is a sphere. A can, something that has a can shape to it, that's a cylinder. Something that has like an ice cream cone shape or a funnel shape to it, we call that a cone. Three-dimensional quadrilateral shape, we can draw the hidden edges in there too. That's called a cube. Especially one that has all the sides the same length. All of those edges are the same length. That's a cube. And there's prisms, like a triangular prism. It would look like that. And of course it has these hidden sides as well. We give that this name, triangular prism. Remember, you should be drawing all of these too on your paper. The triangular prism, some of the faces are rectangles and some are triangles. A pyramid has one bottom face that's going to be rectangular in shape. All the other faces are going to be triangles. And that's called a pyramid. Now those solids that I've drawn that have all flat faces on them, those are all called polyhedrons. The ones that have curved faces like the sphere, the cylinder, and the cone, those are not polyhedrons. That's just a special name given to geometric solids where all the faces are flat. Let's just draw a cube here and kind of talk about the anatomy of a geometric solid. This is called a face. This is called an edge. This is called a vertex. It's a place where three edges meet together. So a cube has 6 faces. It has 12 edges and it has 8 vertices. A pyramid, that has 5 faces. It has 8 edges and it has 5 vertices. Notice that top vertice, more than 3 edges meet there. Actually 4 meet. So it can be 3 or more edges meeting to make a vertex. So one thing we haven't drawn is a rectangular prism. It looks kind of like a triangular prism that has a rectangular base and then the sides come up like that and across. I didn't draw any dashed lines on this one. So usually when you draw these, you draw the hidden lines as dashed lines. So that's another important geometric solid that you see a lot are rectangular prisms. Your textbook has the shape of a rectangular prism. So get familiar with all of those different names that we've been talking about for these geometric solids, and then also the anatomy of a geometric solid shape: faces, edges, vertices. Let's go ahead and do some practice problems. Once you use the appropriate name for a geometric solid that you've been learning to name each of these three-dimensional shapes. A can, you would call that a cylinder. A ball, you'd call a sphere. And a box, you would call that a rectangular prism. I'll just abbreviate rectangular there. Practice problem D, I want you to tell me how many faces, edges, and vertices a pyramid has. So you ought to just pause the CD and try to figure these ones out. What I would do if I were you is draw a pyramid. And just think about all of the faces that it would have. Some of those are hidden from your view, but you should be able to realize that you would have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangular faces and then that bottom rectangular face. So there are 5 faces, and you would have 8 edges and 5 vertices. On E, I want you to tell me what shape would be formed by folding that pattern. So just think about that. If you cut that pattern out and you folded all those sides up, what would you end up with? What kind of a geometric solid? Hopefully you can realize you would have a cube, because all of those sides are pretty much as close as I could draw them anyway. All of them are squares, and that's what a cube is. All of the faces of a cube are squares. Okay, well that's all for lesson 67.